Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to share with you the common mistakes that the first time investors make. I am going to share with you. So if you want to know, then stick around. The first mistake as a first time investor do is jumping the gun too early. It means that without doing proper research, they just want to buy that property because they just all of a sudden saw a property or somebody gave the deal that okay, this is the one that you have to buy. And then just straight away they say, yeah, this is the one that we want to buy. That is not doing a proper research can hurt, and this is the common mistakes that I see the first time investor do. Whereas ideally it should be done a little slowly. So in other words, the research, that area, the location and the property and that business, all these things should be done in a way that we know what's happening in that area, what's happening in that particular location and that kind of business sectors before we buy that property. A lot also depends on the lease that is written underline, and if the lease is not been also not been read properly before signing the contract is something also a first time investor do make that mistake. The second mistake that I see the first time investor do is not doing proper research. So just literally they saw that property and they just want to buy. So not doing the proper research, again, it can hurt a lot in the future, because when the market downturns or something happen with that, because there is a hidden issue in that area or in that particular property, they will not be able to find out. So that is the mistakes that do as your first time investors. The next mistake is not knowing the exact cost, how much cost it is going to be for that property. So if you want to buy a commercial property, remember you have to pay the stamp duty, which is roughly about 5%, depends on which state it is, by the way. But generally speaking, about 4 to 5% you have to allocate for your stamp duty and other cost. And that sometimes can not be factored when you are buying. So if you have 200,000 and bank can lend you another 800,000, and if the property price is, let's say, $1 million, then remember another 50,000 you need for your other costs. So not factoring all the cost is another mistake that a first time investor do. Whereas ideally you need to factor in all these things so that you have a smooth settlement process. The next mistake that they do is not networking enough. What do you mean by not networking enough? You are not talking to people, you are not understanding you. There is no other way you get informations, because you do not go to seminar, you do not go for any webinars, and you do not do all these things. So as a first time investor, they just straight away look for the property itself. Whereas in order to become a sophisticated investor, you need to go through these events, you need to go through these kind of seminars, webinars, and you learn from them before you buy. So this is common mistakes I see that people are doing as a first time investors. And the next mistake that they do is going alone. Without asking anyone, without engaging a professionals, they just want to go alone. And this is a big mistake, which I cannot say more about that. Do not go alone. Always find a good property expert who can handhold you, guide you. Because if you go alone, you will always make mistakes, which is that common mistakes that most of the first time investor do. Remember, commercial property is not a small amount of money, it's generally a bigger transactions, so you do not want to make these mistakes. So if you want to go alone with a shorter money, like if you are buying $10,000, $5,000 things. But if you are buying like hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, then do not go alone. Always take an expert advice when it comes of buying a commercial property. That's all I wanted to cover. I would love to hear from you. What all mistakes that you did is your first commercial property if you purchase, or if you know somebody who did that, what all mistakes that they did, put in the comment section so we get to understand what are the different mistakes that you did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.